7 manipulation techniques used by covert aggressors. Covert aggressors are the invisible assassins of the psychological world. Unlike overt bullies who rely on loud intimidation, yelling, or physical threats, covert aggressors operate entirely in the shadows. They use stealth, deception, and plausible deniability to dismantle your self-esteem and control your reality from the inside out. They do not attack your body, they systematically attack your mind. The most terrifying aspect of covert aggression is that it is carefully designed to be unprovable. They hide their deep hostility behind a meticulously crafted mask of innocence, concern, or victimhood. When you try to point out their toxic behavior, they instantly make you feel like you are the crazy one for even noticing. They use psychological fog to disorient you, making you question your own memory, your sanity, and your fundamental worth. To protect your mind and reclaim your personal power, you must learn to see through the fog. You must understand their hidden arsenal. Today, we are going to expose the dark psychology of covert manipulation. Here are 7 devastating manipulation techniques used by covert aggressors, and exactly how they use them to trap you in their web. Number 1. Gaslighting. The ultimate reality distortion field. This is the absolute cornerstone of covert abuse. Gaslighting is a systematic, calculated effort to make you doubt your own memory, perception, and sanity. The covert aggressor will flat out deny saying things you clearly heard them say. They will hide your belongings and then look at you with genuine concern, claiming you are losing your mind or becoming forgetful. When you confront them with the truth, they do not just deny it. They attack your credibility. They will say things like, "You are imagining things again. I never said that. You are being completely paranoid." Or, "You always twist my words." Over time, this relentless psychological erosion destroys your self-trust. Your brain, which relies on memory to navigate the world, begins to fail you because you are constantly second-guessing yourself. You experience severe cognitive dissonance. You become entirely dependent on the aggressor's version of reality. You become a puppet, easily controlled, simply because you no longer trust your own mind to tell you what is real. Number 2. Guilt tripping, the weaponization of your own empathy. Covert aggressors are absolute masters of using your conscience against you. They know that you are a caring, empathetic person, and they view your empathy as a glaring vulnerability to be exploited. Instead of asking for what they want directly, they drop heavy, unspoken hints about how much they have sacrificed for you. They treat your relationship like an emotional bank account where you are permanently in debt. They will sigh heavily, look deeply disappointed, or bring up past favors to make you feel permanently indebted. If you dare to set a healthy boundary, they do not get angry. They get hurt. They play the ultimate victim, saying things like, "I guess I just do everything around here and no one appreciates it." Or, "It is fine, I will just deal with it alone like I always do." This triggers your deep-seated guilt and your desire to be a good person. It forces you to abandon your own needs, your own boundaries, and your own mental health just to soothe their manufactured emotional distress. They control you by making you feel like a selfish, terrible person for simply existing. Number 3. The silent treatment, a brutal form of emotional starvation. When a covert aggressor wants to punish you, correct your behavior, or force your compliance, they simply shut down. They refuse to speak, make eye contact, or acknowledge your physical presence. It is crucial to understand that this is not a healthy request for space to cool off. It is a calculated, punitive weaponization of silence. This stonewalling tactic triggers your deepest, most primal human fears of abandonment, rejection, and social ostracization. Your nervous system goes into overdrive, flooding your body with cortisol. You are left agonizing in the void, desperately trying to figure out what you did wrong and how to fix it. The silence is deafening and psychologically torturous. Eventually, the emotional pain becomes too much to bear. You will break. You will beg for forgiveness, apologize for things you did not even do, and hand them total control just to break the agonized silence and restore the connection. They use your biological need for social bonding as a leash to walk you wherever they want. Number 4. Feigned ignorance, the tactic of weaponized incompetence. This is the art of playing dumb to completely avoid accountability. When you confront covert aggressor about their toxic behavior, or when you ask them to take responsibility for a task, they will pretend they have absolutely no idea what you are talking about. They will look genuinely confused, tilt their head, and say, "I do not know what you mean. I was just joking. Why are you so sensitive?" Or, "I do not know how to do it. You are just so much better at it." By pretending to be clueless, they force you to exhaust yourself explaining your feelings or doing the work for them. They drain your mental energy while they sit back and watch, completely detached and unbothered. It is a brilliant, lazy defense mechanism. It allows them to bypass your valid complaints, avoid doing their fair share, and escape responsibility without ever having to change their behavior, admit fault, or engage in a difficult, emotionally demanding conversation. Number 5. Rationalization and minimization, the master narrative spin. Covert aggressors are expert editors of reality. When they are caught in a lie, a cruel act, or a moment of blatant disrespect, they will instantly rationalize their behavior to make it seem entirely reasonable and justified. They will say, "I only yelled because you pushed me to my absolute limit," or "I had to lie because you would have overreacted." They shift the blame subtly onto you. Furthermore, they will aggressively minimize the impact of their actions. If you express that you are deeply hurt, they will roll their eyes and say, "You are overreacting. It was not that big of a deal." Or, "You need to develop a thicker skin." By twisting the context and shrinking the perceived damage, they completely invalidate your pain. They convince you that their abuse was actually a normal, minor, and entirely justified reaction to your own perceived flaws. This leaves you questioning if your emotional response is even valid, making you feel isolated and crazy for being hurt by something they claim was no big deal. Number 6. Shifting the blame, the ultimate evasion tactic known in psychology as DARVO. DARVO stands for deny, attack, and reverse victim and offender. No matter how clearly, calmly, and logically you present your case, the covert aggressor will magically turn the tables so that you are the one apologizing. They are professional victims. If they cheat on you, they will say, "It is because you have been distant, nagging, and neglectful." If they lose their temper and break something, it is because you are too controlling and stressful to be around. They will use phrases like, "If you had not done X, I would not have had to do Y." By shifting the blame, they completely absolve themselves of any responsibility for their actions. You end up feeling deeply guilty for their own terrible choices. This psychological reversal is so convincing that many victims spend years trying to fix problems they never created in the first place. The manipulator succeeds by keeping your attention focused on your supposed shortcomings instead of their actual behavior. Number 7. Intermittent reinforcement, the darkest technique of all, and the glue that creates a powerful trauma bond. The covert aggressor deliberately alternates between being incredibly cruel, abusive, and cold, and then unexpectedly loving, charming, and affectionate. Just when you are completely broken and about to walk away, they will suddenly transform back into the wonderful, perfect person you first met. They will buy you thoughtful gifts, give you intense affection, cry, and promise to change. This unpredictable reward system hijacks your brain's dopamine pathways. You become chemically and psychologically addicted to the fleeting moments of peace and love. The emotional highs feel so powerful because they are surrounded by periods of uncertainty, making every small act of kindness seem far more valuable than it really is. Instead of judging the relationship by its overall pattern, you begin judging it by isolated moments of affection. You start constantly chasing the high of their good behavior, tolerating the abuse in the hopes that the good version will return. It is the exact same psychological mechanism used in slot machines and gambling addiction. The unpredictability keeps you hooked, anxious, and completely paralyzed, making it nearly impossible to leave the relationship. Breaking free begins the moment you stop asking why they behave this way and start asking why you continue accepting behavior that repeatedly destroys your peace of mind. Real freedom comes when you recognize that consistency, respect, and emotional safety are the true foundations of a healthy relationship. Recognizing these 7 manipulation techniques is your absolute first step to reclaiming your power and taking back your life. Covert aggressors thrive in the shadows of your doubt, your confusion, and your empathy. You must set ironclad boundaries. Stop justifying your feelings to someone committed to misunderstanding you, and refuse to play their twisted, exhausting games. Knowledge alone cannot change another person's character, but it can completely transform how you respond to manipulation and who you choose to trust. The more clearly you recognize these tactics, the less power they have over your emotions, your decisions, and your future. If you suspect you are dealing with a covert aggressor, look into the gray rock method to become uninteresting and unresponsive to their manipulation. Which of these 7 tactics have you experienced in your own life? Tell me in the comments below. Subscribe to Psychoveil, stay sharp, protect your peace, and never let anyone manipulate your reality. Awareness is your ultimate shield. When you finally see the strings, the puppet show ends.